from there, I transitioned into my brief review of ROH New Japan Pro Wrestling War of the Worlds. So here's my thing with Ring of Honor. I really have not watched Ring of Honor at all since I initially became a wrestling fan in April of 2008. I've only watched the WWE and TNA. I've been suggested to Ring of Honor on a number of occasions in the last number of years. I just never had the time to check it out until now that I'm off. I'm out of school for the summer. For the next night. I think until after Labor Day, which is pretty awesome. I have over 3 months at home, which is pretty cool. I have over 3 months off. But I have not watched ROH at all until just last week. I was able to find time last week after I got home from college. It was literally almost one of the first things I did was watch this show. I had heard rave reviews about it on from a number of people, from fans on Twitter, from reports, from people that were there. I heard it was a great show, so I decided to check it out last week. And I was very impressed for my first ROH show and for my first New Japan Pro Wrestling show, for that matter. I thought it was very, very good. The crowd was great. I think it took place in the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. It was a great show overall, a lot of great wrestling, and a lot of people, they got to come some slack. But the storylines, from what I heard, are not all that great in Ring of Honor. But, from what I saw on the show, they're really not that bad at all. They had some storylines, and coming from someone who has yet to see any of the build-up going into the show or any of the aftermath, I thought it was a very, very good show. The six-man tag team matchup kicking off the show, ACH, Matt Taven, and Tommaso Ciampa defeating the Forever Hooligans. A nice matchup to kick off the show. Matt Taven I've been exposed to for a number of years now. I said this in my indie wrestling video, but Matt Taven was one of the first ever wrestlers that I saw wrestle live at a Northeast wrestling event here in the Connecticut area. I think I saw him wrestle Romeo Razzelli, one former half of the Heartthrobs in the WWE. But this was a very good match at Matt Taven. I'm a huge fan of. I liked his performance here, liked that he picked up the win for his team. The next matchup saw the Decade take on the World Class Tag Team. I thought it was a good matchup. The Decade, and I'll mention this as well, what I like about Ring of Honor, which I think I knew before, but I thought it was only a one-off thing, I didn't know they did it for every match, was the Code of Honor and how they shake each other's hands before the matchup. I think that's very unique. I think it's awesome. It shows respect between the two individuals, despite the fact they might hate each other, and the fact the Decade does not do that, and it makes them that much bigger of heels because they don't shake the hands of their opponents. So I think that's very, very cool. It puts more heat on them. The fact they even do the Code of Honor in the first place, and I'm talking about Ring of Honor overall here, is very cool, and I love the idea of it. This is a good tag team matchup. Lethal and Kushida for the ROH World Television Championship. Another interesting matchup. I've never seen Jay Lethal work heel before. I've seen him work in TNA for a number of years before he left the company, I think 2010 or 2011. I was always a fan of Jay Lethal as Black Machismo. Not doing that gimmick in ROH, I see, unless I missed something here. He didn't really play that up at all. And I think from what the commentators were saying during this matchup, and by the way, the commentary during the show was very good, much better than a lot of the shit I hear on Raw and Impact every week. It's not bad, but I mean, this commentary was much more straightforward, and they don't have a lot to say. I mean, in terms of, they don't have a lot of shit to promote, in terms of their fucking app and the network and stuff like that, but, even still, though, the commentary on the show I thought was very solid and good. But back to the original point, the commentators didn't really mention at any point, or did mention at some point, that Jay Lethal had just recently turned heel. I mean, they didn't say they turned heel, but they were talking about his heel turn. And from what it sounded like, it had just happened just recently, so this might be a relatively new thing. And this manager, whose name who escapes me right now, he was pretty good in his role, too. He got ejected from ringside. That was pretty cool. So this matchup was good for what it was. Nothing memorable all that much, but it was a good matchup. Jay Lethal retained his title. The Bullet Club, Jesus Christ, I can't remember one of the guys' names, but I know one of them was Doc Gallows, Luke Gallows, and Doc, respectively, from WWE and TNA, defeating the Briscoe brothers, who I was exposed to in the past. I remember seeing them. I remember seeing a few promos from them last year, I think. I knew who they were. I knew who they are. I know who they are. A very good matchup in these two teams. Probably not as great as it should have been, given the hype between both teams and how over both teams are. But the Briscoe brothers are just batshit crazy. That's their whole gimmick. They're just fucking insane. Very good wrestlers, over with the crowd. Good matchup. The Briscoe brothers shake the hands of the Bullet Club, and the Bullet Club shake their hands afterwards. And the Bullet Club retains the IWGP Tag Team Championship. So a good tag team matchup from both tandems there. Nakamura defeating Kevin Steen in a very, very good matchup. The match of the night up to this point. Kevin Steen, I know who he is. I've seen him work before. I remember hearing, when he won the ROH Championship at one point, not too long ago, I don't think, unless I'm mistaken. I remember hearing about that. Kevin Steen I've heard a lot about. Seeing him work for the first time was very cool. My favorite wrestler that I saw on the show, his whole gimmick, his outspoken thing, his promo afterwards was very good. The brawl that he had afterwards with whatever his name is, I forgot what it was, I didn't write it down. But that was a good brawl. I guess there was some speculation that this could be his last matchup, and it sounded like it based off his post-match promo. But based off the brawl that he had afterwards, the guy who interrupted his promo and then subsequently brawled with him, it looks like he won't be leaving too soon after all. And Kevin Steen, it's funny, now that I just get into ROH and see him for the first time, become a fan of him, he might be off to the WWE under a developmental contract. So only time will tell in terms of how that goes. But very good matchup from Steen and Nakamura. The match of the night up to this point. Tanahashi defeating Michael Bennett. Another very good matchup. Michael Bennett I have been exposed to in the past at Northeast Wrestling events that I've been to here in the Connecticut area. So I thought this was a good matchup. From what I heard, some people thought it might be better, but I don't know, I thought it was good. The best matchup of the night by far, which was terrific, the tag team title match for the ROH Tag Team Championships, Red Dragon versus the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks, I remember from TNA as Generation Me, was not a huge fan of them then. I remember them and their feud with the Motor City Machine Guns, and then TNA didn't use them well after that at all. After that, they didn't really use them much at all on the TNA Impact Wrestling roster. They were heel for a while. They were singles competitors. I just could not get into them at all. But that aside, though, I thought this matchup was terrific, and a lot of fast-paced action. They reminded me a lot of the Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. What the fuck is their tag team name? Really escaping me right now. I can't remember what their tag team name was. But it reminded me a lot of Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. They're just their style and everything that they stand for and stuff like that. Even their look reminds me a lot of Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. The Rockers, I'm sorry. I don't know how the fuck I forgot about that. But they had a very, very good matchup here. A lot of great action. And really enjoyed this matchup. The Young Bucks lost the matchup and their ROH World Championships, but the matchup was just so insane that I forgave that. The crowd was electric for this contest. Like I said, the match of the night. Adam Cole taking on Justin Liger for the ROH World Championship. Probably botched the enunciation of that, but nevertheless, great matchup. Liger is, I think, over 50 years old. He used to wrestle in WCW. Still very much over with the crowd. Still wrestles like he's in his 30s. I think that was great, considering what he's capable of. And I thought this was a very good showing from him, Adam Cole. I have seen on the past, I've seen him in videos with Matt Hardy because I guess they have an alliance going on. But even still, though, I think right now Adam Cole is being a good world champion. He had a very good matchup here, went over clean, which is something rare for the ROH World Champion, I guess, for Adam Cole, for heels nowadays in general. But Adam Cole, I like. He had a good showing here. It would not be the last time that we would see him on the show, but he had a good showing here. And then that brought us to the main event between AJ Styles Okada, the former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and Michael Elgin in a three-way for the championship in a great matchup. AJ Styles was my favorite wrestler in TNA, so he was kind of one of the leading factors as to why I checked out ROH in the first place, because I know he was there and he jumped ship there earlier this year. But he's been having a great run there as the IWGP champion, now that the two companies are doing some cross-promotion. A great three-way here, a lot of great action. AJ Styles retains. Afterwards, Adam Cole comes out, and when he first attacked AJ Styles, I figured they might do a title unification matchup between the two, but I guess not, because he also attacked Michael Elgin and Okada as well. I guess he just didn't want to be overshadowed because he wasn't in the main event, and he should have been because he's the ROH World Champion, all the yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. But a good way to close out the show, but it would not be the last thing that we see on the show, because we also got a video package for Christopher Daniels, who his contract expired with TNA just a few short weeks ago, as did Kazarian's. He said that he would not be coming alone. He was standing beside someone whose face was censored out. I believe it was Kazarian. That was pretty obvious. Bad influence coming to TNA, which I'm very excited for. TNA made a big mistake in not re-signing this entertaining duo. But I look forward to seeing them in Ring of Honor. But overall, I love this show. It was a lot of great action, a lot of great wrestling, which ROH is known for. And a lot of people shit on the storylines they have in ROH and their production value. But on this show, for this pay-per-view, I thought it was great. The production value did not bother me at all. There was some minor glitches. They had an intermission at one point, which is kind of weird. That was a little strange. But that aside, though, the action itself was definitely going out of your way to see. It entertained me enough to the point where I will continue to check out ROH and everything else they have coming out in coming months. Their next pay-per-view, the Best in the World pay-per-view. I look forward to that. A lot of great stuff, and I look forward to what else they might do with all these guys going forward, with the entire ROH and IWGP, the New Japan Pro Wrestling roster going forward. So I look forward to that.